Hey everybody, how you doing? Deplorable Bobby here. As always, it's going to take a few minutes to gather people in here, so I'm going to talk about miscellaneous things. Not much is going on. Uh, Actually, there's a lot of news, but I didn't get to some of it today because I spent a lot of time on the phone today talking to friends, and I should have been doing research. Ron, glad you're here, brother. Thank you for being the first one in. I'm glad you're here. Let's hang around for a little bit, Ron, until we get some more people in here, and then I'll get on my topics. But right now, I'm just sort of shooting the breeze, so if you got anything you want to talk about, go ahead and say it. I know you've always got something to say, Ron, so go ahead and talk to me. Well, cool. I'm glad I'm glad for that, man. How in the world could you stand it in Arizona without AC? Uh, our power went off today for about an hour and a half, and the temperature went from like 73 or 72 in the house up to 86 in about an hour and a half. I don't know how you could stand it. I mean, it took 4 hours to cool the house off. I couldn't handle that. Margot Dahlgreen, it's always good to see you. I'm glad you're here. You're number 2. We'll gather a few more people in here, Margot, and we'll get started. But DM, so glad you're here. I think both of y'all know DM, and DM, I am really glad you're here. It's always good to see my friends. There'll be a few more people popping in here in a minute, maybe Liberty Smith and a couple of others. Wednesday nights are not always a really good time. Life adventures in Quito. Hey, how you doing, brother? Glad you're here. They keep coming in. We'll get a couple of more and I'll get started. I want to welcome everybody here, though, and I want to thank you for coming. And 3%er, how you doing, brother? Good to see you here. So they're coming in. It won't take too long. Since I've got mods here, I can go ahead and I can give my PayPal information out. It'll be somewhere in the chat. If you care to donate to my channel to help me grow, that'd be a great thing. It's greatly appreciated, but it's not necessary. So if you don't have it to donate, please don't even consider it a problem. Just come to my live streams, join my chat, leave me comments if you get the replay, hit the like button, and subscribe. That's all I could ever ask of anybody, is just to be a subscriber and watch my content. And that's the most anybody on YouTube. I don't care who you are, how big you are. If you expect more than that, then you're expecting too much out of your viewers. TJ Antipas, I can't read it, from New Zealand. Okay, cool. How are things going there in New Zealand? You might hear a little bit about our gun laws up here since they took your guns away down there, I believe. Philip Turner, I'm glad you're here. Always good to see you come into my chat. Won't be but a second. I want to tell you about my internet phone number. You're welcome to call me anytime. It's 404-900-1777. And that's my internet phone number. And as long as I'm at the house, you can get to me. Let's see. Life with Cato, Philip Turner, 3%er report. We'll get a few more here. Pro-Life America, 45 Saving Lives. Okay, that's Michelle's new channel, everybody. So say hey to Michelle. She's Pro-Life America 45 Saving Lives. Glad you're here. Everybody's welcome in my chat, and everybody's welcome on my channel. Drama doesn't live here anymore. There will be no drama on Deplorable Bobby YouTube channel anymore. I think right now I'm in good standing with just about everybody. and I'm going to try my best to keep it that way. I've talked to American Joe several times this week, and we're getting along just fine. So that said, I'm going to be done with it. I'll give a few shout outs. I don't see Tony here or Alex, but I see DM and I see Michelle. So I want to shout y'all out. Pro-Life America 45 Saving Lives is Michelle's new channel. DM and History B go live every Saturday night at 9 p.m. And I suggest you watch them. If you haven't caught them, be sure to catch them. They have a lot of good information, and they have fun doing it, and it's a good show. So check it out if you've got nothing else to do at 9 p.m. And if you do, cancel it. Go see DM and History B at 9 p.m. on Saturday night. Tony Patriot, he's live at 8 p.m. on Thursday nights. Make sure you check him out. Tony's a great guy. He's a true patriot. He's working hard to grow his channel. So check him out. He's always got good information. And of course, you've got American Joe. American Joe Show. If you don't have him, check him out. He's got videos coming out all the time and live streams as well. So, CLC in Florida, glad you're here. Glad to see you. I was hoping you'd come tonight. But yeah, check out American Joe. The American Joe Show. And on Sunday nights, I think it's around 6 p.m. You have to check me out on that. I'm not sure. He has a Bible reading, and I think him and Lee do that, and it's really good. Alex, Disabled Vets Perspective. Check him out. He comes on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. He's a true veteran. He has him and Belinda, or he and Belinda, should I say, get together and they talk about things that are going on with veterans in the VA and across America and across the world. So Sue Eason, glad you're here. Check out Alex at Disabled Vets Perspective on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. He comes on right before me when I come on at 8. And as y'all all know, I come on at 8 p.m. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I thought tonight would be sort of slack, but I've got some good people in here. So, but I don't have a lot of information. I'm going to try to make it last as long as I can, maybe get y'all involved in it a little bit, because if I run out of time, I brought my guitar, and I know you don't want me to do a song. So, try to keep me going on the chat, and maybe y'all won't have to go through that misery. But I want to start off talking about somebody who I've never met, but I call him a friend, and that's Tucker Carlson. And I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but he is no longer on Fox News. This came out either early this morning or yesterday, so I'm sure a lot of you have already heard it. But the Murdoch family are in charge of Fox News. Well, the old man died, pardon me, the old man died a while back, 3 years ago, something like that, and his sons took over. And of course, they were liberal demon rats, and slowly but surely, I know you've seen it. Even Trump's mentioned it, that Fox News is going more and more left. I mean, it was bad enough to have Juan Williams to deal with, and now we have Donna Brazile and other demon rats that they're bringing on. They're getting more and more liberal with their commentary. I mean, everybody is. Even Hannity, and I love Hannity, so I'm not bashing Hannity. But I was quite surprised when Cuomo, the Fredo comment came out, and he had that altercation with that guy that was recorded, and he threatened to throw that guy down the stairs. He threatened to hurt him, and all because he talked to him like he was Fredo from The Godfather, who was the idiot son. And, Cuomo must be the idiot son. Maybe they got 2 idiot sons in that family. I don't know. The governor's not too good either. But this Cuomo on his news show, he doesn't like being called Fredo. So we'll get that out and be done with that. But Fox News has shown that their demon rat thinking is prevalent, and it's only in the left-leaning Dems' views. It's going that way more and more. And you know, they're making noise. They're wanting CNN and all these other channels. They're really ticked off at Tucker Carlson because, you know, he's been talking up Trump and all this kind of stuff. Well, they share a lot of the same sponsors. So what CNN and a few others, I'll get to that, liberal activists and CNN, they boycotted the sponsors. And they said, we're not going to stop boycotting you until you get rid of Tucker. Well, I guess they get more money out of CNN than they do Tucker because that's exactly what they did. I mean, his sponsors went away, and thus he had no show. And I mean, they left immediately. So you know that they're under the control of CNN and the mainstream media and all that. But you know, it was all because he supports Trump's immigration policy, and that's all it boils down to. The left-leaning libtards make him a racist because he believes in immigration. Well, so do I. But then again, I'm a racist, according to anybody that's on the left. And so is Trump, so is Tucker, and so are you. Tucker Carlson announced plans for a vacation at the end of his show after he incited fervent backlash for dismissing the prevalence of white supremacy. He was saying that white supremacy is irrelevant, that it's not happening. We are not white supremacists, and he denounced it, and he got in a lot of trouble for that. Carlson called the white supremacy idea a hoax and a conspiracy theory, and it's used to divide the country and to keep the demon rats holding what little power that they have that they're holding on to. So I want to ask you now, Tucker Carlson be coming back? Or is he going to fall to the wayside like Bill O'Reilly did when he went on vacation? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it seems like that sponsors mean a lot to these people when they got these shows. And I guess in a way, you're my sponsors. Those of you that donate to me, and those of you that help me get this thing going and on the air. Yeah, I love you, I need you, and I'd hate to see you go away. But if you were mad at me about something, or somebody offered to take something away from you, if you didn't, I'm sure that you'd probably go away, and I probably would too. So that's what these sponsors are doing. They're going away from Tucker because they got so much backlash about his views on white supremacy and how it's such a hoax. Well, it is a hoax. I'm certainly not a white supremacist. Oh, I flew in a Confederate flag for a long time. But see, I know what the Confederate flag stands for. The Confederate flag is nothing but a battle flag that was used by many different regiments in the Confederate Army. They only used that flag when they were going into battle. It was their battle standard. It had nothing to do with the Confederacy, but it had everything to do with battle. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to debate it. That's just the way it is. I grew up here in Georgia, and believe me, I've probably got information that's a little skewed to the South. So give me that, and don't get mad at me. But yeah, I'm pro-South. Always have been, always will be. Atlanta, busiest airport in the world. I mean, come on. The South has rose again, and they've been here for a long time, so I'm getting off of that Confederate stuff, because to be honest with you, it means not a hill of bean to me at all. I didn't live during that time. It's just like slavery. I'm not going to debate reparations. I'm not going to debate slavery. Now, I'll debate rights for black people. I lived and grew up during the times of the civil rights movement, and I was there I saw it on TV when Martin Luther King was killed. And I saw the backlash. I lived through that. I saw the uprisings and the riots. And I saw it firsthand in a car with my mother. And it scared the holy heck out of me. But I understand now what they were doing and what they were talking about. And I don't blame them for being angry. Maybe they shouldn't have taken it to violence, but they certainly had a right to protest. And I'll go to my grave defending that right for anybody to protest, unless you are declared a domestic terrorist. And that's where I'm going to get here in a little bit. I was going to go somewhere else, but since I brought that up, I'm going to go ahead and go to it right now. And I'm really ticked off about this, and I'm sure you are too. You know that this weekend there's going to be a big rally in Portland, Oregon. And this time, I'm getting all off of my script, but this time, the mayor is not going to tell the police to stand down, even though he denied telling them to stand down back in June when you had 8 people injured, one of which was an old man in his 70s. I'm an old man, but I can take care of myself. This old man was an old man, for sure. And they beat him with batons. A man went to his aid. He got 25 staples in the back of his head from a metal baton. I can never get this guy's name right. It's G-N-O, so I'm going to call him No. The journalist, the gay Republican conservative journalist that was also caught up in that, who received massive injuries. We all remember that. And the police were nowhere to be found. They were protesting right in front of the police station, if you can believe that. All the police were blocks down the street, making sure that nobody came down the street. And they were on both ends, blocks away. So now Antifa has the run of several city blocks. But they congregate right in front of the police station because they know that there are no cops there, because the cops have been told to stand down. These injured people had no way of getting medical aid. The journalist, No, he made his way to the police barrier that they had set up there, and they saw his injuries, and they told him if he wanted to get an ambulance, he was going to have to walk 8 blocks right back through the same people who had just beaten him up just to get to an ambulance. They would not even render him aid. The mayor said, "Oh, I didn't give a stand down order." Well, I'm going to tell you this. I got your name in here somewhere. I think it's Wheeler. You're a damn liar. You did tell them cops to stand down, because I don't believe in for 1 minute that a policeman would fail to render aid to someone who was hurt unless they were told to do nothing. And even if they were told to do nothing, that was an unlawful order. Everybody knows that you don't have to obey an unlawful order. Well, they did. And the mayor denies it. But keep your eyes on Portland this weekend. Portland's gearing up for a rally by people who the Portland mayor calls white supremacists this weekend. Portland's favorite group of Antifa thugs have issued an online call to all Antifa supporters to turn out in the streets to defend Portland from this far-right attack by white supremacists. Do you see where this is leading? Portland's Rose City Antifa. Isn't that a beautiful name for a terrorist group, Rose City? It ought to be Thornhaven or something like that. But anyway, Portland's Rose City Antifa is the oldest and the largest and the most active Antifa group in the nation. Antifa started in Oregon. This is their base. This is where their supporters are. Not to mention those idiots across the country who come out of their mother's basements long enough playing X-rated video games to go out in the streets and protest. But Rose City Antifa leaders said that violence against right-wingers who demonstrate in Portland is exactly what should happen, and in Portland, it is exactly what is going to happen when the far right-wingers attempt to invade our town. There you have it from the mouth of Antifa, people. Portland city streets belong to Antifa, and they know it. Why do we allow this in our city streets? You know, going off script again, I grew up during the days of the KKK. You know, I remember the hoods. I remember the cross burnings. I remember the civil rights movement. I remember all that. I didn't support the KKK then, and I don't support Antifa now. Anybody who covers their face to riot or protest in the streets should be arrested. I think there's 17 states that has laws that says you can't wear a mask in public. I don't know what states they are. I need to research it, I guess. But we should not be allowed to wear a mask in the streets like these Antifa thugs wear, hiding their identity, harming people. We'll take a minute off of here, and I'm going to look in the chat. And we've got Philip Turner, Common Sense with Elizabeth. Florida Jim. Yeah, Florida Jim, I never get your notifications either. Common Sense with Elizabeth said, Jim, I never get a notification on your live streams. And neither do I. I checked it. I am subscribed and the bell icon is hit, but I never know. Linda Carter, glad you're still here. I never get your name right, man. I'm going to call you Dude, man. Glad you're here, man. I've seen you the last several live streams. Spirit Talker, glad you made it. I was wondering if you was going to be able to get back in time. I hope everything went well. You can give me a couple of big thumbs up in there if everything went well for you, and I'll know what you meant. So, glad you're here. Michelle, I'm glad you're here as well. Sue Eason, let's see, a 3-foot diameter pipe went from the lowest level into the water. Wished I knew what that was talking about. D.A. Archer, thank you, brother. I'm glad you're here. Liberty Smith, Bob, I enjoyed our talk today. I'm glad you're here. I always enjoy talking to you. And Sam Tampa. If y'all don't know Sam, from what I understand, he's a young man that needs to be looked at. If y'all don't know Sam Tampa, check him out. Look at his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Help him grow. He's brand new. He's a young kid. He's a patriot. He's a conservative young patriot. So help this kid out. Go see Sam Tampa. I can't remember. I think it was Florida Jim that told me about him. Or it might have been Disabled Vets Perspective. But either way, check this guy out. He does have a good channel. Let's support him and let's help him grow. Philip Turner, I'm glad you're here. Sam Tampa, these people who cover their faces and wear a mask are cowards and so un-American. They are of the devil. Now, people, that was coming from a young man. I don't know his age. I figure he's under 20. But he's got his head on right. And that's what we got to do, is we got to talk to these young people. We've got to let them know that what they hear in school is not the truth. We've got to convince them. We've got to convince them that there's only one way to be, and that is a Christian, God-loving American patriot that loves America, supports our values and our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, and vote. Get your word out there. Lee, Red Nation under God. Thank you, my friend. It's good to see you, too. Is there anybody here? Let's see. Florida Jim, he said it was me. I think that's what he said. Maybe I can pull him down right quick. I lost it. Can't pull it down. Anyway, I think Florida Jim said, yeah, he was the one. So good to see you, Lee Red Nation. Liberty Smith. Michelle, pro-life American, 45 loving lives. That's a long handle, but that's Michelle. Dangerous Freedom, Sam Tampa. Yep, y'all check him out. Linda Carter. Somebody just said, I think Sue Eason said she was going to call me tomorrow. So, yeah, Sue Eason, feel free to call me tomorrow. I'll take your call anytime. That phone number again is 404 900 1777. It's easy to remember. If not, just write it down. Sam says he's 19 years old, conservative, and goes to a very liberal college with very few conservatives. So you see, he not only is a patriot, he's fighting every day just to get an education. And he has to decipher all that crap coming from not just his liberal classmates, but from his liberal college professors. So this guy definitely has his head on right. Sam Tampa, you keep going like you're going, and you will have a great channel, and you'll have a great following. I promise you, brother. Talk to your other friends. Get them in here. Get them on your channel. Tell them to come to Tony Patriot and DM and History B and Disabled Vest Perspective and my channel and Florida Jim and all these other people. Let's get a bunch of your friends in here. They're all welcome. As long as they're like you, they'll always be welcome. I'm going to get back on topic here for a minute, and I want to finish this little story. Portland's mayor is opening his town up to nothing but violence. He knows that by allowing Antifa and these so-called white supremacists both to protest at the same time, but hell, how are you going to stop them? Everybody's got the right to free speech. That's part of the Constitution. That's what this Antifa people will tell you right off the bat. It's their First Amendment. It's their First Amendment right to go up against these fascist, Nazi, white supremacists. Well, the mayor's doing nothing but he's supporting haters, punks, and thugs, and that's all he's doing. And he said that law enforcement will have a major presence at these demonstrations. Well, they didn't have a major presence back in June, did they? They were blocks away. They saw nothing, they heard nothing, they see nothing. They're like the three monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Because you told them to stand down, Mr. Mayor. You know, that mayor has even contacted the governor. He wants the governor to send in the National Guard. Can you believe that? Annie, oh Lord, why do y'all have such hard names? Annie Pilates? You'll have to help me on that. Physical therapist, hello, how you doing, Annie? I'm just going to call you Annie because I really screw up last names really bad. Memo, I'm glad you're here, the Memo. And nice meeting you, Dangerous Freedom. Yeah, he's a good guy. Talk to these people, Ann. I haven't seen you in here, Annie, before. You may have been, but I just missed you. But if you know any people in here, talk to them. If you don't know them, talk to them. And if you don't know them, check them out, subscribe to them, and help them grow. This is not a grow channel. It never has been. It never will be. But I don't mind y'all socializing in the chat. And DM, you know that I don't mind you putting out people's URLs. Florida Jim can do that. Liberty Smith, Spirit Talker, any of you. I would ask you to throw my PayPal out there every now and then, but throw these people out there, and let's get them supported. They support me, and I want to support them. The mayor of Antifa, his name is Wheeler. He says this weekend we'll see thousands of policemen in the streets to keep the peace. He's calling in every off-duty policeman. He's calling in every part-time policeman to stand in the streets of Portland this time. Because this time you have white supremacists. Not just Antifa beating up on a few little stragglers who got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wheeler said he's planning on calling in the National Guard. And we all know that Governor Kate Brown would love to approve Wheeler's request. That liberal governor would like nothing better than to have the National Guard there and blow this all out of proportion. It may get blown out of proportion anyway. The only reason the mayor is so upset and scared is the fact that this time Antifa will not be facing innocent, unarmed people at the rally. The Proud Boys. Have y'all heard of the Proud Boys? If you haven't, check these people out. The American Guard. The 3%ers, Dangerous Freedom, they're going to be there. The Oath Keepers. The Oath Keepers don't back down from anybody. And the group Daily Stormers is going to be there. People, these are true patriots. I don't know. From what I've seen, I haven't seen any white supremacy in their ranks. There might be, I don't know. But I do know that they stand against Antifa. So if they stand against Antifa, I stand with them. I don't see them protesting in the streets and hurting people. Like I said, this time Antifa's not going to be facing old men who can't defend themselves. This time they're going to be facing grown men that know how to fight. Dangerous Freedom? Some of y'all let me know what's going on. Whew. Got a lot of flies coming around. I don't know if you can hear the cicadas in the background. Turn up the microphone for a second and see if you can hear them. Anyway, they're supposed to sing in July, and July is long gone. The seasons here are nothing like they used to be. There's no more April showers bringing May flowers. Now the rain comes in late May or June, and the July flies come out, or the cicadas come out in August. They don't even know what season it is anymore down here. I want to talk to you a little bit about California to change the subject. Sebso, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, brother, for coming in. I appreciate your support. I don't know how many is in the chat. That's why I don't put the number up there. I don't really want to know. I'm just glad to see each and every one of you. I'd like you to hit the like button on your way out if you hadn't already. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. And I want to tell you, YouTube, I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know if it's trolls. I don't know if my content just isn't getting out there. I don't know what it is. But I have been stuck, I might as well say it, 1138 for 2 weeks now. I'll go up to 1149. And then I'm back down to 1136 the next day. And I stay on 838 longer than any other number. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know if I got trolls that are just subscribing and unsubscribing. I don't know what they're doing. Or I don't know if I'm losing subscribers. I hope not. I really hope not. But you know, in order to elect a president in the United States, he has to have certain requirements that he has to meet. And those requirements are really short and simple. A presidential candidate or a president must be a natural-born citizen. Well, you know that didn't happen with Obama. We had a natural-born Kenyan in the presidency. But here I am, I'm off script again. I'm going too deep. They must be at least 35 years old to be president. And they must have been a resident in the United States for 14 years. And that's it in a nutshell, people. That is all the requirements to be a president. Natural-born citizen, 35 years old, resident in the U.S. for the last 14 years. Plain and simple. But California, they're not buying it. They're trying to change the Constitution. But no one, not Congress, not the president, and certainly not a state government. No state government may universally and unilaterally change the requirements to the presidency of the United States. It can't be done. It's unconstitutional. But California doesn't see it that way. And I don't know if they're planning on amending the First Amendment of the Constitution or not to do this, but they're going to have to for it to ever be legal. California Governor Gavin Newsom and the California state legislatures are trying to do their pandering to the far left in California that the U.S. Constitution is very clear on the requirements to run for president, but they want to change that. They want to see President Trump's tax returns. California's Presidential Tax Transparency Act, get that, California's Presidential Tax Transparency Act of 2019 was recently signed into law by Governor Newsom. It adds a new requirement for candidates, and they must furnish California with 5 years of tax returns, or they will not be allowed to appear in a partisan primary ballot. This new law is aimed directly at President Trump, who has chosen not to reveal his tax returns. Well, people, there's a lot of people who have refused to do their tax returns. Sue Eason says they're demanding income tax records to be on the ballot. They think they will keep Trump off the ballot. You're right. But depending on which Democrat winds up running against Trump, there are several of them who refuse to release their tax records as well. So what will they not do? Will California just not have a vote? If one of these demon rats happen to run against Trump that won't release his records? That would be cool as heck. Both of them refuse to release your records, and California is just knocked out of the election altogether. Perfect. That's a perfect scenario. It'll never happen, but it's a good idea. You know, let's make sure that a Democrat gets the nomination to run against Trump who don't want to release his tax returns, and then California can just be pushed away, done away with. We won't even count you. That's what they want. They want to be a separate state, but they know that they can't afford it. They can't afford what they have. They beg for money from the government daily. Like I said, Trump isn't the only candidate refusing to release his tax returns. Several Dems have also refused to do so. California's new law is a blatant violation of Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution's qualifying clause. The new law attacks the First Amendment's free speech and free association rights. It violates equal protection laws and supports the Fourth Amendment. In effect, California demon rats want to dictate to the Republican Party which candidates are permitted to seek their vote on a primary ballot. We have to have their permission to get their vote. California has tried many times to discredit President Trump, and they have failed miserably every time. California now seeks emergency legislation, and it's legislation chicanery, people. It's all a joke. It's a literal joke. Governor Newsom has disregarded all principles of a responsible executive to prove he is anti-Trump and to appease his party's unhinged leftist voters. We all know California have the most leftist voters around. The hobby horses of the hashtags resistance cannot be allowed to override the Constitution and the founding of our government. And that's what they seek to do. That's what Antifa seeks to do. That's what all demon rats seek to do. That's what all socialists seek to do. People, we're under attack all the time by the left. The far left have huffed and puffed and tried to blow smoke up Trump's butt for years on his tax returns. And he hasn't released them yet. You know, when the left can't win, they cheat. But this time, shredding the Constitution to get their way in California, I don't think will stand. I just don't think it will stand. Even in California. I could be wrong. 3% report. Good to see you, brother. Sam, Tampa. That's crazy. Colleges have become so liberal. Socialists taking over educational institutions. You're right. And it's the same thing with Common Core. Thank God Common Core is leaving. It's getting out of here. It dumbed down our students so bad. During that time it was prevalent. We got to get rid of that stuff. We can't allow that in our elementary schools. In California, pardon me, we all know that they're allowing pedophilia to be taught as a normal orientation, normal sexual orientation to ninth graders in California schools. Terry Christ, I'm glad to see you here, brother. I thought you got mad at me the other day about Trump, and I wasn't bashing Trump. I really wasn't. At least I didn't mean to be. So I apologize if I offended you about Trump. I was just letting him know that we're watching. We care. He needs to know that we know and care that he cares. And that means a lot. You know, it's about time that the Trump administration did this thing they did. This week, a ruling was issued strengthening the ability of federal officials to deny green cards to immigrants deemed likely to rely on government aid. And to paraphrase that, because I read that so bad, now there's a ruling that strengthens the ability of all the feds and all their officials to deny green cards to people who are probably going to wind up on the welfare system and all that stuff. Officials described the public charge rule as the way to ensure those granted permanent residence are self-sufficient and protect our tax dollars at the meantime. By not having these people come in here who can't take care of themselves, who ride our social systems, we don't need to give them green cards. We don't need to give them the ability to stay in this country. We need to get them out. But if you're self-sufficient, you're welcome to stay. Give them a green card. As long as you can take care of yourself and not deplete our tax dollars through the social welfare systems, I say you're welcome to stay. Anybody who can take care of themselves and believes in America is welcome here. But self-sufficiency is a principle of old American values, and that's what we need to return to. The old American values of self-sufficiency. The Bible says if a man won't work, don't feed him. And that's quoting. If a man won't work, don't feed him. That's what the Bible says. And I don't think that the Bible lies. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've given people money. Beggars, panhandlers. I was married to this woman one time, and every time she saw a panhandler, she had to give him $5 to $20 every time. I said, "What the heck are you doing?" "Oh, it may be an angel, though unaware." Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I got rid of her pretty quick. But anyway, I've donated to people. I've given to people, because I don't donate. I give. If I give you some money, and you know it's not for a specific purpose or a loan, then I expect you to do with it what you say you're going to do with it when I give it to you. Many times I've watched panhandlers take money. I'd be sitting there on my lunch hour in my work truck, and I'd be eating my lunch that I just gave this guy $5 for gas, and he just came out of the store with a 12-pack of beer. I mean, come on. It happens all the time. So I don't give to panhandlers anymore. But I do give to charities, and I do give to people who are truly in need. But officials describe so-called public charge rule is the only way to ensure that these residents are self-sufficient. The public charge is a recipe for success if used right, and it's right for America at this time. We've got so many Mexicans in America right now. The only thing we can do is to try to find them. We know where most of them are if we can ever locate them. But those who are self-sufficient, we can't kick all of them out. Take the ones that are self-sufficient, help them out, help them get that green card. And these other folks, get them ready to go back where they came from. We don't need 1 million people on our welfare system. We've already got plenty that shouldn't be there. And that's something I might as well forget my script, because I'm so far off script it doesn't matter. But you know, that's what it really, it eats my lunch. I'm not going to say it makes me angry, because I'm not supposed to get angry, and I'm not supposed to get mad. I'm supposed to disagree without being disagreeable. And so that's what I try to do. Tony Patriot, I'm glad you made it, my friend. I've already gave you a big shout out, and I'll probably shout you again before I leave. Glad you're here, Tony. Always good to see you, brother. You got a great thing going on. I hope it grows and grows and grows. Maybe I'll follow in your footsteps one day. You're a great guy, Tony. Thanks for being here. Let's talk about our welfare system just a little bit. I've got relatives, and I've said this before. I've got relatives who milk the system. And it eats my lunch, people. It really does. But one thing I've never been is a fink. I've never ratted on anybody in my life. I guess that's just part of growing up in the 60s and 70s. You just don't think on people. You don't think on friends. And that sort of stuck with me all my life. I mean, if somebody does something and commits a crime and harms someone or causes a felony crime that they need to be arrested for, believe me, I'll turn them in. That's the right thing to do. But, I'm talking about people playing the system. The system knows they're being played. I mean, come on. They have to know they're being played. And they allow X amount of people to play the system, I'm sure. I'm sure they have a number that, it's okay if only this many people are playing the system, getting money needlessly. Well, I have family members who are taking money needlessly, and they have for years and years. But here's the catcher, people. This is what they don't understand. These people don't realize that by taking these benefits that they don't deserve anyway, because either, I have one niece, her husband owns a business, okay? She's drawing food stamps, Medicaid, because she's got one more kid left at home. And her husband's even on Medicaid, he owns a business. Because they say they're separated and don't live together. That's a lie. Playing the system. I got another niece that does the same thing. Every year on her taxes, they file separate. One takes one kid, one takes two kids, and they file their taxes separate, and they all get money, and then they keep getting food stamps. Well, people, I wished I could turn those people in. But, like I said, I've never been a fink. But it's wrong, and it's wrong at the very core to do that. I mean, how can you be allowed to play the system for so many years? But the thing that they don't realize, and this is the kicker, and I bet a lot of y'all don't realize this either. At least in Georgia, that's the way it is, and I think that because Social Security and disability, go through the federal government, I believe that it's a national thing. So here we go. This is the deal. When I got my disability, and I'm not gonna, I'm not the best health in the world. I'm not going to go into all that. But anyway, I am on disability. And when I got my disability, I had to go before one of those Social Security ladies, and I had to answer a lot of questions. And she already knew the answers before she asked me the questions. She wanted to know if I'd ever drawn food stamps. And I said no. She wanted to know if I'd ever been on SSI, which is welfare. I said no. She wanted to know if I'd been on all these other TANF programs and things like that. And I said no. And she says, good. She says, that means you'll get to draw your full disability. Because if you ever draw food stamps, if you ever draw TANF, if you're ever on SSI, when you turn 65 or 66 and 2 months or whatever age it is when you qualify, you're going to receive reduced pensions or disabilities or Social Security. They're going to take that money back. So they're going to reduce your benefit. And you don't even realize that. So you're playing the system right now when you could be out there working and providing for yourself. But when you're old and older than me, and you have no money coming in because you used it all up in benefits over the years. And that's what they do. Believe me, people, they start taking their money back once you draw your Social Security, if you've ever drawn benefits like welfare, TANF, food stamps, and the stuff like that. I was on Medicaid one time, I'm not going to lie. I was unemployed and I cut my finger off. Okay. Unemployed, no insurance, I cut my finger off. I go to the emergency room, they rush me into surgery, they save my finger, and they tell me the next day that I'm on Medicaid. I didn't ask for it, they gave it to me. I guess that was one way of them getting their money. But yeah, it's crazy what happens. And you'll probably hear something different if you ever go before a Social Security lady. But I think I'm going to make it to the end. I've got 7 minutes, and my guitar's still sitting there, so y'all have been lucky tonight. I set my guitar out here when I think that I may not go the full hour, and sometimes I go a little over. But tonight, I don't think I'm going to go over, so y'all get away with no song tonight. Y'all don't have to listen to me howl. So let's see what Sue Eason has to say. YouTube channels are my outlet to communicate with others. Just about my only outlet. So I love to discuss and debate with you all. And Sue, you're more than welcome. Everybody's welcome here to debate and to talk. The only thing that I ask, and I've never heard that from you, Sue, or you, Phil, or Jim, or Zepso, or Dangerous Freedom, or Liberty Smith, or Tony Patriot. I've never seen any of you be unkind or rude to anyone. So as long as you can disagree and and agree to disagree without being disagreeable, feel free. Chat it up. That's what it's all about, people, is getting out there. When I started this YouTube channel, I think six and a half months ago, something like that. I've been watching YouTube for a couple of years, pretty much religiously. I had my favorites that I like to watch, and then one day I decided to do a video. But I'd heard so much garbage and stuff, and I was listening to all the wrong people, and I was angry and mad, and I was all about this Pizzagate stuff, which I still am. I just don't vocalize it as much. And about Hillary Clinton and all that. And I raised a lot of Cain, and I cussed and showed my butt, and didn't care if people watched me or not. But slowly but surely, I met some of you people, and I got to know some of you personally, and my life changed. And my YouTube channel has changed, thank God. I've got over 300 videos now, and I'm blessed to have each and every one of you spend your time on a Wednesday night here with me. Uh, I'm grateful to each and every one of you every time I see you. And uh, you guys are fantastic. Uh, support each other. Uh, just talk. Have a good time. Let's see. Look at DM's message to me. Okay. Let's see. That's right. That's right, DM. Tell Ron, Dangerous Freedom, not to be rude or crude. There's some things you just shouldn't say, Ron. But I know you, brother, and I know you mean no harm. And and I know that DM keeps you under a rein there, so you don't get too out of hand. But sometimes you gotta say your piece, but sometimes you gotta just say it the right way. Dangerous Freedom, yes, thank you, brother. You have become a close friend of mine as well. And nothing's wrong with righteous anger. You're exactly right, Philip. There's nothing wrong with righteous anger. You're right. It says anger and not sin. So, as long as you don't sin in your anger, yeah, you can be angry. Sure, you can. I said I don't get angry or mad because personally I can't afford to get angry or mad, because when I get angry, sometimes I get too angry. So, I try not to. It's a personal thing for me. It has nothing to do with religion or God or my beliefs about anger. It's just that I prefer not to get angry because I prefer not to be that way. And I know that when I get angry, sometimes it takes me a little while to get back. And I don't like being there, so I don't go there. I try not to. But yes, there are times that you can have righteous anger. Amen, you're right. Cornbread's in here. Somebody called it cornbread. Haven't seen you before. It won't be better. The money will help, Jim. Of course it'll get better. It always helps. But Cornbread, I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you before. Terry Christ is still here. And that's right. You've always respected everyone, Terry. And Lee Red Nation, in the future, God willing, Florida may be our new home. Wow, man, that's great. Where are you at now, Lee Red Nation under God? I don't think I know where you're at. But if you're moving to Florida, it can't be a bad thing. So I live just one state up from Florida, and it's 4 or 5 hours. I'm in Florida, and I'm having a good time too. So that's right, DM. Thank you. Put up Tony Patriots. If you would throw my PayPal every now and then, and Florida Jim, get him up there, and everybody that has content that wants to be out there, put their content out there. It's 2 minutes till, and so people, I am grateful. I'm so glad y'all came. It's getting better all the time. I'm seeing more people that I don't know, and I'm seeing more and more friends return, like Cornbread. So glad you're here, brother. You're welcome anytime. I go live on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I go live on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and on Friday nights at 8 p.m. These bugs are eating me up out here. But you got to remember now, Florida Jim, subscribe to him. Dangerous Freedom, check him out. He's a good 3%er, and he's a survivalist. He's a good guy. Let's check out DM and History Bee on Saturday nights at 9. Tony Patriot, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Check him out. I think tomorrow night he's going to be going on after Joe. Am I right with that, Tony? You can throw that up there, Tony, if you're going to be going on at a different time tomorrow. Liberty Smith, he's another guy. Florida Jim. Florida Jim needs to start doing a whole lot more lives. And I'm trying to get Florida Jim to start putting some stuff out there, because I promise you, he's a good friend, and he can talk for an hour, and he'll never get off topic like I do. So it's 9 o'clock almost. I'm going to say goodnight. And as I say goodnight, I want to say goodnight in a prayer. If you'll join me, please, and bow your heads, I would appreciate it. Lord Jesus, Heavenly Father, we thank you again, Lord, for the opportunity, Lord, to do a live stream and to have good friends in here. Lord, to let me share some of my opinions and some of my beliefs. But Lord, give me the eyes to see and the ears to hear to always know the truth. Lord, bless these people in here tonight. Bless these friends as they go their way tonight and throughout the world and throughout the country. Lord, just be with us, lead us, and guide us. Lord, bless us. Stay with us. We give you the credit for everything, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So everybody, y'all have a good night. I'm glad you're here. Glad you came. Man, it's been fantastic. Every one of y'all. Charity, I just saw you. So I guess I'm going to holler at you right quick. Glad you came in. I know that I'm not locked in to doing just an hour. But I try to keep it to an hour as close as I can. And that's just because of the military in me. I try to be punctual, and I try to be thoughtful of other people who might want to come on live after me. So I always try to get out of here pretty much on time. So tomorrow night, Tony Patriot at 9, if I believe, and DM and History B on Friday. Florida Jam when you can catch you. And don't forget American Joe Show. Michelle's got a new channel. I can't remember what it is right now. So Pro-Life Americans 45 Save Lives. So check her out. Everybody have a good night. Let's love each other. Let's end the hate. Let's end the arguments. Let's end the drama. Let's do this together. Let's do it together. Let's make and keep our U2 family, the Patriot family, together. My name's Bobby, and I'll see you Friday night at 8 p.m. Y'all have a good night.